had someone say some time back, we invest so much in ourselves, we live well, we detox, we drink a lot of water for our bodies, we exercise our bodies, we do everything else that we can to make ourselves detoxified, if there's any word like that. But we don't do the effort to do that at the workplace, where is where we spend most of the time. Hello, how are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is that you're watching this. How are you? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Keli. Our channel is called Reimagining the Workplace. In this channel, we discuss anything that has to do with the workplace culture, the workplace environment. And our main aim is usually to create a beautiful workplace for our employees, a conducive workplace for our employees, generally to create a beautiful work culture for our employees. So in today's topic, we are going to be discussing toxic workplaces or toxic work environment, toxic cultures, whatever you'd like to call it. And maybe we should start by defining in a layman's language what a toxic workplace is. And a toxic workplace is any place that you're going to work and you feel uncomfortable, you feel unappreciated, you feel undervalued, you feel like nobody cares about your welfare. I had someone say some time back, we invest so much in ourselves, we live well, we detox, we drink a lot of water for our bodies, we exercise our bodies, we do everything else that we can to make ourselves detoxified, if there's any word like that. But we don't do the effort to do that at the workplace, where is where we spend most of the time. A study shows that we spend 70% of our waking hours at work. 70% is a long time. Like annually, in a year, in 365 days, we spend more than maybe 230 days at the workplace. Yet, some workplaces are the most toxic places that we can imagine. Maybe we should make efforts to make our workplaces untoxic, if there's such a word. How does a toxic workplace look like? You have bosses that are abusive, generally. If you have a boss who screams at you and other employees, they insult you even, they push you to work for long and unrealistic hours without paying overtime even, they make you feel like you're a small person, they do not appreciate anything that you do generally. They're just unappreciative bosses who push you against the wall. They do not support you, they do not appreciate that you're a human being first before you are an employee. All they care about is for you to deliver. They don't care how you're going to deliver. They are not making the work environment conducive for you to deliver. That is a toxic workplace. No boss has any permission whatsoever to scream at you or to make you feel like you're a nobody. Some bosses insult people. They even use the S and the F words at the workplace, like it's a punctuation or something. that is abusive. That is a toxic workplace. Why? Because it constantly makes you feel anxious the whole time. You feel tense the whole time. You can't even work. You touch this, you touch this, you touch this, because you're not sure if anything you do is seen, if anyone appreciates whatever you do. So you're not even sure what to do and what not to do. You're constantly anxious at the workplace. Some bosses will bully employees. They'll come to your desk and throw files at you. That is ridiculous. I've just remembered an incident that happened to me. I was unwell, had gone to the hospital, and according to the company policy that time, for outpatients, the company was only paying for our insurance for inpatient only. So for outpatient, you are supposed to go to the doctor, get treated, bring proof that you've been treated, then give it to the boss or to the accountant, and then they would refund your cash. As long as you can prove that you were unwell, you went to a hospital, you were treated, you spent this much. And when I gave them to my boss that time, she threw them back at me. Like, they were literally thrown back at me. They were all over, everywhere. And I had to collect them, feeling humiliated. You know, and that's something about bosses who are toxic. They'll humiliate you. They'll make you even question your education and your worth. Yet, they interviewed you, you passed the interview, they picked you as the best candidate, and they employed you, and you have been performing, but they'll still have you questioning your worth. That's a very toxic work environment. Yeah, and something, if you find yourself at such a place, then maybe it's time for you to start thinking about changing things. Toxic work culture will have poor communication as their standard. A good work culture or a good work environment, people communicate, people say whatever they need to say. Emails are clear. They do not have ambiguity. If someone wants to say this, this is what they are going to say. Also, there are some bosses or colleagues who will circulate secret emails to each other and leave out a group. I have experienced that before at a workplace. So if somewhere you're working has funny communication behaviors, then that is toxic. You deserve to know everything that is going on in an organization or whatever workplace that you're at, as long as it's going to affect your work. Yeah, so you have a right to know, you have a right to ask and be answered. A hostile workplace is a toxic workplace. Hostility can come in many forms. You'll have employees who do not generally like each other. They do not like new employees, especially. They think they have come to take their jobs. Employees will work against each other. They'll work as competitors instead of collaborators, or as opposed to working as one team. Some colleagues are very competitive at the workplace, and frankly, they do not like other employees, especially employees who are doing their job, who are recognized by their bosses. They'll stress you at the workplace. They'll compete with you. They'll even pull the rug under your feet. Some colleagues will be abusive. They insult. They talk carelessly. They gossip. A toxic workplace will have groupisms. It will have issues to do with nepotism, favoritism. People will create unhealthy cliques at the workplace. A particular tribe of people like to stay together. It's not a bad thing to have friends at the workplace. I mean, you cannot avoid that, given that you spend most of your time at work. But your friendships at the office have to be healthy. You cannot create cliques that are based on gossiping other colleagues, or undermining other colleagues, or discriminating other colleagues in whatever shape or form, or humiliating other colleagues. That is hostility of the highest order. Yeah, so at the workplace, if you notice such things where you work, then that is a toxic work environment. It's not a place that is friendly to you. It's not a place that is going to make you feel elevated or motivated in any way to work. Yeah, I have, for example, worked in an office where during lunch break is like generally the time that employees get to socialize, sit together, talk, have conversations. But there used to be a particular tribe that I'm not going to mention that would lock themselves in an office, one of the supervisor's office, like literally lock themselves inside there and gossip the whole lunchtime as they eat. And everyone knew, and nobody questioned. Even the HR didn't question, maybe because she was from the same tribe, I don't know. But she did not question. It did not occur to her as a problem, even though everyone else who did not belong to that clique felt that was wrong. Working extra hours without appreciation is toxic. Some employers will expect you to work long hours, and that will be praised upon. You're applauded for working extra hours, for working through your lunch hour break, for staying way past working hours. And employees who respect boundaries of their time, who cannot work during lunch hour break, or who do not cannot stay past, say, 5 o'clock, because this is the standard time in Kenya, are frowned upon. They are labeled lazy. They are labeled unprofessional. I remember there's a time one of my supervisors was got a very stern email from a manager and they said you cannot be, like, it was an email written, you cannot leave work, run at home at 5 o'clock like a casual, yet you are a supervisor. Like, that is hella toxic. What time do you expect me to leave work? My contract says we work from 9 or 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. I have been working. If I am running at home at 5 o'clock, it's because I have things to do. I have boundaries. Or maybe I am done with whatever it is that I was supposed to be doing on that day. So why are you calling me a casual or whatever? I know that's not an insult, but it's an insult. You cannot put me at the same level with people that I'm supervising just because I left at the right time that the contract says I should leave. Yeah, so if you work at a place where they praise people who overwork and put down or frown upon anyone who respects time, who wants their time to be respected, then that is toxic. Yeah, maybe you need to change that. Maybe you need to put some boundaries. Maybe you need to talk to your supervisor or to your boss and ask them to respect your time. You can do that. Yeah. If you work at a place where you don't get credit for your work, you're not appreciated for the work that you've done, nobody gives you a pat on the back, or nobody says well done, that is a toxic workplace. Everyone needs to feel appreciated for the work that they have done, for delivering at least. Everyone needs that kind of motivation. It's actually motivating to an employee to feel like their supervisor or their boss appreciates the little that they offer to the company, the value that they offer to the company. So if you're working at a place where they do not appreciate your work at all, then that is toxic. You need to change something about that. You need to maybe leave. I know leaving is not easy, or it's not the first option, but everyone needs to feel appreciated for the work that they do. I know some bosses who they cannot appreciate anything you do, but wait until you make a mistake. They'll make a mountain out of an anthill. They will scream at, like they'll make it such a big deal, yet you've been doing a good job the whole week, but just this one mistake that you've done on that day, they make it a big deal. I know it's true, small mistakes may cost companies a lot, but then what about if you appreciate me for what I do? If you need to reprimand me or question a mistake that I have done, also do it in a friendly manner, because I'm a human being too. Yeah, so if you work at such a place, that is a red flag. You need to do something about that. Okay, so in conclusion, if your gut tells you that whatever it is that you're working is toxic, then chances are that it is toxic. Employees, we need to learn how to listen to our gut, to listen to our heart. And if you're uncomfortable in whatever form, shape or manner, you feel uncomfortable at any workplace, then that is a toxic workplace. It's definitely a toxic workplace. A toxic workplace may affect you mentally and psychologically, and even physically. You may start feeling sick. You may start feeling unwell or fatigued. It may even change your mood, the way you relate with your colleagues, the way you relate with people, even at home. A toxic workplace will have you sad the whole weekend, maybe thinking about an email that a supervisor or a boss sent you on Friday, and then you spend a whole weekend thinking about that email. Like, it keeps replaying in your mind, and it makes you feel unworthy, it makes you feel humiliated, or whatever negative feelings that you may feel because of such an email. Then that means that you're at a toxic workplace, and it's affecting your health emotionally, physically and mentally, and you need to do something about that. So if you like this kind of content, kindly subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified every time we upload these videos. We'll continue talking about this topic especially, and we hope that we are going to learn together, we are going to grow together, because God wants us to be happy at our workplaces. He doesn't want us to wake up in the morning and feel like we don't want to go to work because of these things. Yeah, so let's go on this journey together. Bye bye.